Picture this. It is September 2026. You walk into an Apple store, you want a new iPhone, and Apple has made it so that every single phone on that table costs over $1,000. No budget option, no escape hatch, just three of the most expensive iPhones Apple has ever made, sitting there waiting for your credit card. And here's the thing nobody is saying out loud that is not an accident. Apple deliberately delayed the standard iPhone 18 and the 18e to spring 2027, which means anyone upgrading this fall gets funneled, whether they like it or not, toward a phone that starts at $999. So the question I kept coming back to is this: is the iPhone 18 Pro Max actually worth $1,199? Or is Apple just removing your alternatives? I went deep on every credible leak, every analyst report, every supply chain briefing worth reading, and I landed on a take that surprised even me, especially on one specific number, a number that every other breakdown I have seen is completely glossing over. We will get there. The iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max are expected to launch in September 2026. They are bringing Apple's first 2 nanometer chip, their first fully in-house modem, and the largest battery ever put inside an iPhone. That is the headline version, but headlines do not tell you whether to spend $1,200. So let me tell you what actually matters. Let's start with the thing that powers everything else. The A20 Pro chip, built on a 2 nanometer manufacturing process from TSMC, Apple's most advanced processor ever. And the performance jump is expected to land around 15% faster CPU and GPU performance compared to the A19 Pro, 15%. Now, I know what you are thinking. 15% does not sound like a reason to upgrade, but here's what that number actually means when you are holding the phone. The 2 nanometer process generates significantly less heat than the previous 3 nanometer node, which means the phone does not throttle under sustained load. Translation, and your phone will still be running at full speed after 45 minutes of video export, a long FaceTime call, or a heavy gaming session. No slowdown, no heat spike in your pocket. That does not show up in a benchmark, but you will feel it every single day. The chip is also expected to integrate 12 gigabytes of RAM directly on the same wafer as the CPU, GPU, and neural engine. Tighter integration, faster memory access, lower power draw, all three at the same time. Now, there is another chip in this phone that almost nobody is talking about, and it might be the most underrated upgrade of the entire year. Apple's first fully in-house modem, the C2, is expected to debut in the iPhone 18 Pro models this fall. First party, Apple designed, and it is not just about dropping Qualcomm. The C2 modem brings millimeter wave 5G support, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and satellite 5G connectivity, not just emergency SOS, actual data over satellite to a phone for the first time. Satellite 5G, let that land for a second. Dead zones, rural areas, remote travel, that one spot in your apartment where your signal always dies become a solved problem. And because the C2 modem is designed to work hand in hand with the A20 Pro chip, the power efficiency gains are compounding. More connectivity, less battery drain, which brings me to the number I have been building toward. The battery, 5,100 to 5,200 milliamp hours, the largest battery Apple has ever shipped inside an iPhone, period. Now, here's why that number matters more than it looks on a spec sheet. Usually when Apple upgrades the chip, the battery pays the price. More power, more heat, more drain. But the 2 nanometer A20 Pro is efficient enough that you get both simultaneously: the biggest battery and the most efficient chip Apple has ever shipped in the same device, both at the same time. That is not the usual trade-off. That is not how this normally works. And the real world result, based on what we are seeing from 2 nanometer efficiency data from TSMC, points toward all day and into the next morning battery life under normal use conditions. Not pretty good, not better than last year, genuinely outlast your day. That is the number nobody is giving the attention it deserves. And it is also the reason the upgrade makes the most sense for a very specific group of people. I will tell you exactly who in a minute. The camera, variable aperture 48 megapixel main lens, a first for any iPhone ever. Variable aperture means the lens can physically adjust how much light reaches the sensor, wider open in the dark, narrower in bright conditions. Your eyes do this automatically. Pupils expand at night, contract in daylight. The iPhone 18 Pro Max camera can now do the same thing on purpose, under your control. That is not a software filter. That is not computational photography pretending to be optics. That is physics. And it is paired with the full 48 plus 48 plus 48 megapixel triple rear system and a 48 megapixel front camera. All 4 lenses at 48 megapixels, including the selfie camera. That front camera number is the one I kept coming back to. If you shoot vertical video, do any kind of content creation, or just want your FaceTime calls to stop looking like they were filmed in a broom closet, that matters more than people are admitting. The display, 6.9 inches, LTPO-OLED, 120 Hz Pro Motion, and a peak brightness of 3,200 nits. At the beach in direct sunlight at 2 in the afternoon in July, you will never squint at your screen again. The dynamic island is expected to get noticeably smaller, with Face ID components moving partially under the display. Not full under display Face ID, that generation is still coming, but cleaner, more screen, less interruption, and the new color lineup includes dark cherry, a deep wine red shade replacing cosmic orange, alongside light blue, dark gray, and silver, dark cherry. I do not know who signed off on cosmic orange, but whoever approved dark cherry, genuinely well played. Now let's talk about price and Apple's strategy, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to hold flat at $1,199 for the base 256 gigabyte model, matching the iPhone 17 Pro Max exactly. Same price, more capable phone. That is legitimately good news. The A20 Pro is built on a manufacturing node that costs more to produce, and Apple appears to be absorbing that cost rather than passing it down, which is more than I expected from them. But here is the move that changes the entire context of this launch. Apple is not offering a budget iPhone this fall. The standard iPhone 18 and the 18e are not coming until spring 2027, which means if you want a new iPhone in September 2026, your only options start at $999. That is not a product strategy, that is a funnel. And for budget-conscious buyers, waiting until spring 2027 for the standard iPhone 18 is genuinely the smarter financial decision. Okay, let's close every loop I opened. Who should actually upgrade to the iPhone 18 Pro Max? If you are on an iPhone 14 Pro or older, this is your upgrade. Full stop. The A20 Pro chip, the C2 modem, the variable aperture camera, the 5,200 milliamp battery, the smaller dynamic island. These are not incremental improvements over what you have. They are a different category of device entirely. 2 generations of compounding, upgrades landing at once. You will feel every single one of them every day. If you are on an iPhone 16 Pro Max or newer, wait, the performance delta does not justify $1,199, not even close. You will spend $1,200 and spend the next 3 weeks convincing yourself you notice the difference. You won't. And no color, not even dark cherry, is worth that. If you are on a 15 Pro Max, it is a close call. The battery jump might actually move the needle for heavy users, but if your phone is still serving you, hold one more year. One last thing, Apple is launching this phone alongside their first ever foldable iPhone, which means the September event is going to be completely dominated by fold coverage. Every channel, every review, every headline, and the iPhone 18 Pro Max with the best battery, the best camera, the first variable aperture lens, the first in-house modem, and the most efficient chip Apple has ever built is going to be the most slept on flagship of 2026, which historically is exactly when something is worth paying attention to. I am curious, are you upgrading this fall or waiting for the standard 18 in spring? Drop it below. I am actually reading them.